Hello everyone, this is Julie Edwards at Craft So Cute. That is the name of my YouTube channel. I am fairly new. Thus far I've only videoed my flip-throughs of the journals that I've made, but now I will be starting to do process videos of the journals that I create. I am a member of Andrea Allen's at Artie Mae's Facebook group, and I recently shared a corset journal that I am in the process of making, and I will give you a quick glimpse of it right now just to remind you of this right here. And of course you can see in this little corner here that sneak preview of what it looks like so far. I will go ahead and share what I have done with this journal up to this point, but first I want to share with you on how to build an A-frame journal structure using 2 ring binders to hold it together. Once you've built your structure, then it's open country from there. You can use any digital kit that you have or paper pad that you have and all of your stash supplies that you have to create this journal. So let's go ahead and get started in building the structure. This right here is a cereal box. As you can see, I use the cereal boxes that we purchased from Costco. They have 2 bags of cereal in it when it's empty. My husband already knows now to just deposit the boxes here in my craft room, and then I cut them up. So what you will need to build the structure, you will need, let's see, you will only need 1 panel. No, excuse me. 1 box that is that Costco size cereal box. Well, actually, you know, the way it comes, it's 2 boxes that are taped together. It's not, the only one that is in a full structure is when we buy Raisin Bran. But with the 2 boxes of cereal boxes that you have, I think you may need 1.5, but let's go ahead and get started because I think I just used 2 of these and 2 of the side panels of the cereal box. Let me show you real quick. I'm going to pull one out and show you. So here is the box that is, and it comes like this. These are 2 huge boxes. They're the ones that I'm talking about that you get from Costco. The side panels are 4 inches and the main panel is about 9.5 inches, and the length of it is 11.5. So you will need the 2 large panels and the 2 side panels to create this structure. Okay, I'm almost thinking that it may be one of these and then another panel from another box, but let's go ahead and make this, and I might be wrong. I think I may have had to cut up another one because I measured it wrong. I wasn't thinking or falling asleep, which usually typically happens when I'm making my journal covers and stuff, because lately I've had my grandbaby. She's 3 years old and she keeps me running and exhausted, so by the time I get into the craft room to start continuing on with finishing my journals, I'm like head bobbing, you know, and sometimes I catch myself lean back in my chair and I've fallen asleep. And then so anyway, 2 of these, okay, And here are the measurements. I'm just gonna keep this here real quick again so you can quickly write this down. So you would need 2 main panels that are 9 by 6, 9 in length and 6 inches wide. Another panel that is 4 inches in length, when I say in length, and then 6 inches wide. And then 4 strips that are 1/4 of an inch, like this right here. And these are just trimmings. So when once I'm finished cutting out my panels going from 9 inches by 6, I take the other side and I just cut 4 1/4 inch strips off the side here. And I'll let you know why we need this. And it's for the stopper. And I'll explain that as we go along. And then 2 side panels of the cereal boxes. See, I take, here's the side panel, and then the other side panel, and I use that for making my template. I use that to make a template. And I just create one, and then I just make 2 panels out of this one. And so I keep this for my future journals that I will be making. And then that has to be, if you see here in this diagram, the corset panel, and you need it 3 inches wide. Excuse me. It'll be 3 inches from the center right here, from this line over here is 3 inches. So you need a 3-inch strip. And this panel, the side panel that I used, I know it's just over that, but yeah, no, it's 3 inches wide, this panel here. So one of these panels, actually 2, excuse me. And then I'll show you how we get to making these holes. And then right here, in this little diagram, from this corner to here, you will need to make it a, actually not a 1 inch. It's a 1/2 inch. Okay. And I'll show you how we put this together. And as you can see, this is, I have renamed her, even though in Andrea's Facebook group I was going to call it the Mechanical and Mechanisms of a Woman or something like that. But I thought, wow, that's just too nerdy or just too long. So, and the reason why I changed my mind to call it My Fair Lady is because the colors, the black and white, the floral, that it's an inspiration from the movie My Fair Lady. I recently watched it, and that's the inspiration of my color palette that I'm going for. Throughout the journal, it's not just going to be black and white, but you know, her dress at the opening races, she wore, Mr. Higgins was introducing her to the public, and she came out walking in this beautiful, beautiful black and white dress. It was gorgeous. So I believe it was black and white. Golly, I just watched the movie. Pretty sure it was. But anyway, that's the inspiration. And so the journal that I am currently making is going to be referenced as My Fair Lady. So I'm going to set this aside. So you'll need 2 of these to build that structure. Get the two 9-inch by 6-inch panels, okay? So I'll set that aside. And what I want to do is show you how to make your template first, okay? On your corset panel. So here I've already cut out my 9 by 6-inch panels. I've got 2 panels here. And then I have the 4 by 6-inch panel, which is going to be the bottom panel. And then I have the 2 panels here for the corset cover, or the corset flaps. Okay, so I have that, and then I have my 4 1/4" strips, which is on my panel here on the 1/4" by 6". So we have the 1/4" right here. This is the width, the 1/4", well, the length really, when it's positioned right, and then the 6" width. Okay, and this is going to be our stopper. So I'll have those set aside right there. Move this away. Move this away, and I'm going to show you how to create your template. Okay, and I just took a piece of scrap paper, and this was a scrap paper because this is one of Andrea Allen's background papers, her vintage background papers. And when I was printing it off, I don't know why, my computer was having a conniption fit and put all these lines in it, so I can't use it. So I'm using this as a scrap paper. So I'll go ahead and cut this out right now. Well, actually, let's see this is 8.5, I think. Is this an 8.5? Hold on a second. Yeah, this is an 8.5 by 11.5. So I'm going to turn this sideways, and I'm going to set this down here, and I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Cut out this paper at 9 inches. Scrap paper for those little clusters, and is that what Andrea calls them? Clusters and snippet rolls. Okay, and now I'm going to cut this at the 3.5 mark. I mean, not 3.5, but 3 inch. So it's going to be 9 by 3. So get your scrap paper out. 9 by 3. Oops. And this will be fairly easy. Move this out of the way. Okay, and then you take your 9 by 3, take it in length, 9 right here, 9 inch, and then fold this in half. Oh, my hands are so dry that the paper is just not allowing me to grip onto it. I should have lotioned them up before I started. Okay, so what I do is, what I did was, because I am such a nerd, I've taken architecture. I was going to be an architect once upon a time, but ended up becoming a nurse. So what I did was use one of these, and I took it at the 3 inch mark. I open it, for those that do have them, I forget what they call this, but it's by Fiskars. It's not a protractor, is it? Not a protractor. So I'm going to open this up. This is what I did. If you guys want to use something like this, but it's totally unnecessary. So I'm going to continue to open this up till I get this point and this pencil point 3 inches wide. Almost there. Okay, let's see. Okay, 3 inches. So, because I'm such a nerd, well, I can be. What has my mother called me? What does she say? She used to call me anal. You know, it's just not my mother. Many people have called me anal, and I guess I am. You know, other people might say a little OCD, but I don't think that's. But so what I did was I took one of these tools, right? And I put it right here at the point, at the edge, at the corner here. And then lined it up here at the top part. And then I just kind of created this little line structure just to, I know, and that's all I did. Right then and there. That's the whole main use of this, which is silly, right? So for those that don't have it, which is completely, it's an unnecessary tool to use, what I've done was just tape this here. Let me go, come closer to me. I taped it down using some washi, and all I did was went from this 3-inch mark, not 3-inch mark, well, it is 3, the width is 3, and I just lightly, oh goodness, let me move this out of the way. I just took the point here and I just started, because I had did this initially, I took this point and I just kind of, oh, let me back up just a second, I'm super sorry. Once you've taped it down, and remember, bring out my template. This part right here is a 1/2 inch wide. So right here, I am going to measure this at a 1/2 inch and just make my little line dot right here. Just right there, a tiny little line. And what I'm going to do is lightly sketch from this point and try and match it up to this point. Okay, I'm going to take this and I'm going to just lightly sketch down to this point right here. Even though I was a little off, I don't know if you can see me do this. Let me try and I'm going to zoom in here. Okay, so I came from this point and just started sketching it so it meets that line that that 1/2 inch line that I marked right here, and went and just followed it all the way up. Now, I know this, it just looks, if you have another way of doing it, then by all means share it. And what I did was I just took this and I fussy cutted this out, trying to follow, and with the scissors, you know, you have more of a grip and you could actually fussy cut that just like that. So I have this. So when you remove the tape, when you remove these items, the tape, then you can open it up and it reveals the panel. But at this point it looks kind of wonky, right? Because what I mean by wonky is that this panel looks kind of pregnant. It's got a little belly there, but you can see that it's 3 inches. So for those that have this type of matting, you know that each block is 1 inch wide, right? So what I've done was I came to the 2-inch mark and I used my ruler just as a guide to not go past this point. So what I've done to make her not so pregnant, this panel, is that when you have these, you can see that you have these dots, right? And this space right here is 1/4 inch. And then when you go in further, that's another 1/4 inch, which then combined makes it 1/2 inch, right? So what I've done was I wanted to taper this off probably at the 1/2 inch mark to make it not so pointy, I guess I want to say. So what I've done is I would just take my pencil and just lightly go over and just follow this 1/2 inch. See, I'm not going beyond that. Just kind of sketch it through so that it does not, and this ruler is going to be my guide so I don't go past this right here, past the ruler. That way it's almost symmetrical. So here's the 2. I'm working, starting at that 1/2 inch mark, that dot there, and I'm just kind of lightly sketching it and making sure that I'm looking at it and thinking, okay, I kind of like that. She doesn't look so Prego, right? I think that's going to look good. So what I did was remove it, put this together, and you know, when you fold it this way, you can start at any end, cutting it this way or cutting it over this way. But for me, I'm choosing which angle I want. I think this is still a little round, so this one doesn't kind of look so round, so I'm going to choose this, and I'm going to start right here and just kind of fussy cut that over and bring it like that. And so when I open this back up, I'll tape this down and show you. So when I cut it out, here's that 1/4 inch mark, here's the 1/2 inch mark. So I just was almost cut it at the 1/2 inch mark, but I think this panel looks pretty good. So if I zoom out, you'll see see how it looks really good. And this little bit that I cut off, see, it made it look so pointy and fat, right? But when you remove that, that looks like a decent, right here, a decent template. So remember, we didn't take anything off of here. So the length, the 9 inch, is still intact. The 1/2 inch is still intact, as well as up here. And all we did was taper it down to make it not look so, you know, chubby or Prego, steamy Jago. So then I'll just go ahead and remove this tape. Well, actually, let's not. I'm going to go ahead and grab one of my panels. And this right here is pretty straight here. Just line this up right here and use the washi tape to hold that down in place so that your paper doesn't move. So when you go to trace your outline, you have it won't move, okay? It won't flop around. So what I've done was taken, okay, everybody knows how to trace, so just being very careful. Follow that outer line, and I am tracing this, and just go very slowly. No rush, right? Because this is a process video. And I am just following this line through as best I can. Ugh, my eyesight is not very good these days. I have to go back. I need to make an appointment with the eye doctor, so I'm just kind of tracing this out right here and meeting that. And then when I've come here, I'll go ahead and remove this washi over here to hold that down, and I'll just trace this. Oop, just broke my lead. Okay, and then I will remove this washi and hold this panel down there, and then trace this right here. So I should have a good even outline, and there's the outline. Okay, so this right here will be your template, okay, to keep aside in your stash. So in case you want to create another journal like this, then you have your template already. Okay, that's if you're going to make a 9-inch A-frame, because it's going to be 9 inches tall. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. Ugh. My fingers don't want to work right. They're getting a little weak, and that's because of so much volleyball as a kid. We grew up, I'm an Islander family, and us Islanders loved to play volleyball. Every time my dad was back from serving our country, he would erect a huge tent. We'd have a fiesta, and it would be open, completely open to the neighborhood to come and eat. And who doesn't love to eat, right? Oh my goodness. So we have our template here, okay? Now we're going to create the holes. And what I should have done, well, okay, I won't use that. Let's just stick with this, what we have right here. I am going to place this here, line it up, and we know that this is 9 inches, right? Okay, remember this is our template, so we can mark it up. Now, 9 inches divided by 2 is 4.5, right? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4.5. Find the half mark right here. Line it up, line it up. Let me line up my dots. And then I'm just going to create a line here. And that's our center mark. So now I'm going to punch out our first hole. And if you guys have one of these crocodiles, here's the large eyelet hole here. And, let's zoom in because I don't know. I'm sure you guys already know you're a crocodile, but this is my thinking process. So this is a, if you could see, let's see, here's that line right here, and this line over here, that's 1 inch. And so we have this little thing here to help create the depth that we want to set our hole punch, okay? And what I've done was I brought this and pushed it up to the 3/8 mark. The 3/8 mark, here's the line, and this is 1/8, 2/8, 3/8, okay? So I brought it up to the 3/8 mark because that's the depth I want to create my hole. So then we already have this line here, okay, and that's going to be the center of the first hole that we're going to create. So I'm going to set my eyelet here, and then through this hole you'll be able to see that line that we have, and all you do is, best you can, center that line in the center of this hole, and then make your first hole punch. Trying to see, okay, I think I got it, and there it is. That's the first hole punch right here. And then to create the other, and I have 5 holes in my corset panel. So to create the other 2 here and the other 2 here, what I've done was, from this outer line right here, I measured from here 1 inch. So taking my ruler, I'm going to right there put my 2-inch dot right here. Okay, that's the dot that's 2 inches apart. So now this dot is going to be the center. You're going to place your hole punch here right up on that hole, on that dot, and center that dot in the center of your hole punch like this. And that's my second one. And so then I'm going to take this and go ahead and on the outer circle, the outer edge of that circle, I'm going to now place my third dot. Let me move this back in just a tad bit. And there's my dot right here. So then I take my hole punch and line that up, get that in the center, And there's the holes already set. And then I just do that the same way. I take, going this way, from this outer edge, I'm going to measure again my dot, 1 inch, make a dot here. And I know that for those, they want to just go ahead and set the dots, but you want to have this equally spaced. Okay, so then when you, each space, if you're going to measure, that's about 6/8 of an inch width in between. Okay, so it'll always be equally the same, 6/8 in between. And that's, you know, that's my thinking process. If you have something else, by all means, go ahead and do it. So I'm going to find my little center in that hole, and I'm going to punch it. And then I'm going to take my other, I'm going to go ahead and do that again from the outer. Right about there. Establish my dot right there. Oops. I have 2 dots. How did I do that? Okay. Establish my 2 dots right here. Establish my center dot, the last and final dot. That'll be, excuse me guys, I wanna, right there. So I'm going to, oops, it's flying out of my hand, so I'm going to angle it and then get that dot. And this dot, when I'm looking at it, is right here at the bottom, so I didn't put it in the desired width, inner width that I want, but you can line the dot up against this edge and then just hole punch it, because that's, you know, you're going to get that right on cue. You see, I wish I could show you what that looks like inside. Nope, it's impossible. Okay, but I'm sure you all know what I mean. And then just set my, okay, there's that tiny dot. And set my hole. And there you go. It's completely even. And that's it. That is done. And here is your template. Okay. So now, I did this one last night, and it lines up perfectly. Okay. So what you're going to do, you take your template, okay, and use whatever paper or cardstock that you're going to cover this with, so you can go ahead and do that. Now that we got this done, you've got your template, okay, so let's move on to putting the A-frame structure together. Sure that out of the way. Zoom back out here. Okay. Let me get my scissor out of the way and get this mess out of the way. Okay. Bring my panels forward. Okay, so we've got, you finished this, and let's move on to doing these little things so they're, all this is out of the way, okay? Just put that, let's get this out of the way. So I've got 4 strips, and they're 1/4 of an inch wide, okay, and so I am going to cut them at 6 inches wide. So I have that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Gonna go ahead and mark that where I need to cut it. Okay. Why does this one seem a little too wide? I think what's throwing it off is because I did not cut that straight. That's why. So I'll just trim it up and correct that little tiny roadblock, right? Okay. There. So, I'm going to go ahead and measure this up at the 6-inch mark. Oh, let me go this way because the pens. I'll just cut this because it has this little groove here and I want everything to lay flat, so I'm just going to chop that off. 3/6 right here. Got like fatigue in my fingers, just overuse syndrome, because I cook a lot, bake a lot, knead bread with my hands. I do a lot with my hands. Plus, like I was mentioning to you earlier, being in an Islander family, we were playing volleyball. I'm going to just start saying since I was 5 years old, and carried that throughout my, whole childhood, and then joined the volleyball team when I was in junior high, middle school. For us, it was called junior high. Now these days they call it middle school. So, and then where's my fourth one? Did I just toss that away? What? I did have 4. Oh my goodness. What have I done? Did I drop it? Yep, I certainly did. Ay. Excuse me, people. Folks. Trying to pick it up off the floor. Did my hair get in there? I don't know. I'll find out when I replay the video, right? Okay, so let's get some glue. And I'm using the Fabri-Tac glue, and I've just been disappointed with this Fabri-Tac glue recently because the way it clumps up. I mean, it just, if you leave it open for just any time, that thing just, it gets dry, and like how the texture of the glue changes. Come on, I'm squeezing this out. Well, then again, I don't have a whole lot of strength, but again, volleyball. For those that have children that are in volleyball, I would seriously think twice about letting them go too long, because only in hindsight do we have 20/20 vision, realizing that, why do I have arthritis in my hands? Right now. Carpal tunnel? Volleyball. Why does that... I have to cut that off. That's just bugging me right now. Just a piece of paper, or part of the edge. Okay, so I'm gluing these together, okay, with Fabri-Tac glue. This is, but you know, art glitter glue is not going to hold this together. Glossy accents will, but I don't want to use my glossy accents for something like this. Ugh. I'm squeezing. I guess I'm going to have to thin this out with some acetone. It just comes out super tacky. And that's just... hence the name? Fabric tack? Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Wait. This is a short piece. How did that happen? Holy schmoly. Oh my gosh. Where's my fourth long piece? Oh my goodness. Oh, looks like I'm going to have to cut out another piece. Let's see if I can get this to adhere. Enough glue. Yep. So I'm just going to squeeze this, press it down. Out here in the south, I'm going to clean this up a bit, you guys. Excuse me. Let me grab a wet wipe wherever I put it. Oh. And here in the south, they don't say press. They say mash. Just mash it down. Mash it down? Really? Boy, was it an adjustment when I moved out here. So let me go ahead and close this up, because now I've got to cut a fourth piece 6 inches wide. And I mean, seriously, you guys saw me cut it up, right? And it just like disappeared unless you saw me put it somewhere else. So that's holding that. Let's just go ahead and press this down firmly. Get it sticking to each other. Okay. I'm going to use the scrap panel and cut out a 1/4 inch. Or if I could, okay. I'm going to just eyeball it here. And I think that's going to look like that's 1/4 inch. Yep. Okay. Oh. Man, I just don't have the strength. I ordered a, what do you call it, Fisker's rotary cutter. It was for my birthday. My birthday was on May 13th. This past May, and that was my birthday present. My husband and my daughter and his cousin Charles, who's up at my up here at our house on our birthday weekend, pitched in to get me my little rotary cutter here. Let me go ahead and get this marked. Go. I wonder if I reached back and tossed it in the trash. I don't know. Okay. So, let me set that aside. Put that away. Just in case I need that again. Okay. So let's go ahead and... this thing seems to be... I'm going to take my... oh. Using my embroidering needle to reopen that hole. Let's see if this works now. It really does. My thumbs really hurt from just so much overuse. I'll tell you what, I have had a nice lifetime of using my hands, that's for sure. Oh my gosh. Not to mention skateboarding as a kid, falling down into those empty pools, and then surfing, and definitely use my hands and arms quite a bit throughout my life. Okay, so go ahead and put this on here, press it down to get this sticking very well. Okay, I close this up before it wants to dry up. Okay, so now we have our stopper. This is our stopper, and as you can see from over here, looking at the bottom of that structure where this comes in. Okay, so we've got this ready, so let's set that aside. Now bringing in this panel. Okay, so this will be the front, so we'll set this aside. This is what this will be attached to. Okay, there's that other one that I have. This will be like this. Okay, alright. Let me see, I think, hang on just a sec, let me, yeah. Okay, so this right here, you're going to cut out, use your template to cut out your little panels, and the structure, if you've seen, it'll look just like this. Okay, alright, and we'll get to that in just a moment, uno momento. Okay, now this is pretty thick, the cereal box as a chipboard. Now if you wanted something sturdier, like almost cement-like, brick-like, you know, really tough, hard, like a really nice hardback cover, then cut out another piece or two of them and attach them together. Okay, so go ahead and do that now if you like something, you know, tremendously strong. I mean, well, the structure that I'm building is strong, but when you start putting cardstock on it and your paper, and you're covering it with paper, it starts to build up on itself. So I just kept with one panel each. So this, we are going to set our panel, make our first, it's going to be the back and the bottom structure. Okay, so what I do here, oh, let me grab my tape. I should have had the tape ready. Take up off all these little scrap pieces. I might be able to use this one, yeah. And this tape that I'm using is, oh, I got at Costco. It's like a painter's tape, but it's got lots of fibers in it. So I use this so that it, after time, when you manipulate the folder, it won't rip. Paper will rip over time. So I'm sure everybody knows, those of you that are watching, so you want to get a piece of tape that you want to get a piece of tape ready and cut it, you know, just beyond 6 inches. And where was that little piece of board that I had? I kept a little scrap board, but I'll just use this here. So what I do is I take this and I set this up against each other, and that creates the width of my, that creates the width of the fold. So see, when I remove it, that's, oh, I just moved it. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay, this is what I normally do, people. Friends, new friends, and I know I say people, you know, it's like, you know, when you introduce someone, your family member, oh, you know, saying, oh, these are my people, you know, so you're my crafty family, so you're my people. Okay, people? All right, where is my washi tape? What did I do with my washi tape? I need to get this. Okay, let's use some of this. I usually just hold this down. I usually have all of this ready, and I keep, you know, they're great. You can just reuse them, and they just so reusable until it loses its stickiness, right? And I usually have some just already, but I've already reused my other ones, so I'm just gonna have 4 of them here. I think that might be enough. Okay. There. So I'm going to just line this up with a line so that it's straight. Hold this down. Hold that down. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and grab this here and put this in between this, and I'm going to press this other bottom piece, the bottom panel, up against this board. Okay, my hands don't want to work. Come on. Only on camera, right? Only on camera. Okay, so I'll take that off. Hold this down. Set my cardboard. Then I take my tape. And normally, actually, oh gosh, here we go. Tyvek, a lot of people are using. You know, Tyvek's good. If you have Tyvek, you can use it. Even duct tape. But for me, duct tape, you know, it takes some strength in trying to just rip it off, right? I mean, I could use the scissor to cut it, but it just sticks to scissors, you know? So I just use this. People use masking tape. You can use masking tape. Who is it? Is it Carol Tinson? She uses, is it Carol? She uses, I'm going to use a little glue just to make sure that this thing stays. That's what I kind of, just going to put just a bit of Gravitac glue right here. Not a whole lot. Don't need a whole lot. You know, it just gives you some wiggle room. I think I just went outside the lines. Just to give it some tackiness and more holding power. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and center this up as best as I could. Lay this down like so. And wiggle room. Come on, stretch. Hope it didn't. Okay. I'm just gonna lay that down. You see, it already allows you to fold this with ease. Fold it. Okay. So let me go ahead and close this up because I'll Bone folder, bone folder. Okay. Oh, just straightening out my table. Because my belly is pushing my table forward out of view, out of camera. Getting it unaligned. Okay. Okay. So then we just untape this thing. Turn that over. Let's go ahead and save this for later. Take this off. Okay. And for me, you know, a lot of people just fold this over. But, you know, I didn't have a long enough piece to evenly fold it over, so I'm just going to cut it. I'm just going to chop it off. Cut it off. Okay. So, thank you. I just want to say thank you for joining me in this journey of creating this A-frame. I did have someone in the group ask me if I had a process video, and I said I will if you would like me to. And so, ouch, felt like something just bit me on my leg. Okay, so there we go. So here's that first one. So we're going to go ahead and tape this from behind. Let me move that out of the way. Take these two little pieces off this tape here. Okay. I see something here. This is about... Did I cut a... I guess it doesn't really matter. I mean, some people just... Maybe I'll just go ahead and put this whole thing down and cut this at 6 inches wide. I'll lay this right here. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. Okay, normally what I would do is just cut it at 2 inches wide, because I just feel like I'm wasting a whole lot of tape. So, I'll just put that there. This glue. So I'm just going to go ahead and build the structure. You know, I'm not going to go ahead and cover it. I'm just showing you how to put the structure together so that you can start putting yours together, and then you can start decorating with me if you want to. I'm going to go ahead and do a whole process, start to, well, not exactly start to finish, but because I've already started my journal, but you'll see that I still have quite some ways to go to complete it, because my time is my granddaughter's time. I have her for another week, next week, until her sister, Claudia, is out of school. She is a middle schooler. She's in 8th grade. She's going to be going into the 9th grade next year. Just going to go, see this. Only on camera. Only on camera does this happen, right? That's what I've heard so far. And it's true. Go go ahead and lay this down just like so, and there we go. We don't have to worry about that shiny tape showing because it's going to all be covered, right? Right. So I was originally born, I was from Okinawa, Japan. I was born there on a military base in Naha, Okinawa. And my father, that's where he was stationed, and met my mother. And then in the late 60s, during his third tour of Vietnam, he was stationed out in Camp Pendleton, California. Oh, let's see if I can line that up. Okay. So here we are. We got this structure. Okay, this is our, and then just kind of bend it and manipulate so it's like, you know, okay, just like so. And just, whoop, there it goes. And here we go, just like that. So you have the structure. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead and put this one on here, our stopper, okay, right here at the edge. Let me see if did I not cut this? Yep, I did pretty good. I cut that off pretty good. Yep, that's good. Okay, so we're going to glue this down. Ooh, I'm going to have to get on another glue. And then I have to... Actually, I'll just get out another glue and then put some acetate on this one. Get it a little more liquefied. Aye. See how that bubbles up there? I'll take care of that in a minute. So let's set this down. Right here at the edge. Ugh. Come on. Press that down. Okay. So we got that stopper going on. Nice. Nicely. I see that right here. I'm just off a bit. Right here. So I'll cut that off here once this is glued down. Once it's nice and on there. Okay. I usually stand this up and press it down so it lines up. The edge is lined up really nicely. Okay, and so goodness, it's one thing I don't care for this glue. It just all right. Okay, so that is nice and dry and on there. Okay, I'm just going to trim this off here because it was about 1/8. There, I cut that off now. Not even 1/8, almost 1/8 of an inch. Okay. And so here we go. There's that now. And then let's bring this other panel here. Okay, we have our panels, and this is what the structure is going to look like, just like this. an A-frame. How simple is that, right? Here's your A-frame structure. Okay, now let's set our eyelet, our holes. Now, we had the two main panels, and then from each side I went 1 inch in and 1 inch in and set my holes. Now for this one, I don't think I'm going to keep it at 3/8. I think I went in a 1/2 inch to set my holes. And what I mean is at the top here, here's the panels, here's the edge. I'm going to go 1 inch in and 1 inch in here, and I'm going to go 1/2 inch down, 1/2 inch down from the top. So let me go ahead and set that on this panel. So I'm going to line this up here. Make sure that's nice and straight. Okay. Okay. So I want to go, here we have these two blocks, and here this center, these dots here, from here up is a 1/2 inch. So I'm going to go ahead and line that up and trace that like this with my pencil. It's a 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to go in 1 inch. So I'll line that up and line the top up here, and there's the 1 inch. And come over here. This is 1 inch right here, and I'm going to make the little crosshair. And so now here is where you're going to place your holes. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and set this at a 1/2 inch. Let me see here. Yep. Set my hole at a 1/2 inch, and that should line up pretty good. Trying to get this in the light. Making sure that's okay. Okay, holes are set, and now get my other panel. Line this up like so, tape that down. I'll just take my pencil, just color that in. No, I'm straight on that yet. And just color that in. Setting our holes. Ooh, my fingers, they hurt. Okay, so now I'm going to set up this eyelet. And I know that you're saying I'm going to go ahead and cover I'm going to cover right over it with my paper, which is true, but I found that having your eyelets, your holes punched out is so much easier, because then you work around your design around those holes. And when you lay it, what I do is that when I cover this whole sheet, then all I do is line up take my hole punch, and I just faces the other way, where this little thing that comes down to punch the hole is this way, because I set the hole this way with the hole on top. But when I turn it over upside down, then I turn it over, I set my paper, I glue it down, and then I'll turn that glued side down over where this is exposed, and all I do is line up that tooth, and it just, you know, goes right through the hole. That's how I do it. Now if you have an easier way, you know, that's please share it. But that's how my brain is working. I mean, because I'm so new to this, I'm a lot slower in my process, because I don't want to make a mistake. And for those of you that are veterans, it's like, I know you have other ways of establishing those holes, but I don't know it. And if you share it with me, then an easier process, then I will implement it. I'll definitely use it. So now we have those, and so let's do, I'm not going to set this here. I just wanted to show you how you build your structure, and all you need now is get your little ring binders. And right now I have 1.5 inch ring binders on mine just to hold it, but when my product is finally done, I keep a 2-inch ring binder as its permanent binding system, for lack of better words. Okay, so here we go. That's it for this. And then what I do is, once you take your template and cover everything, cover it all. What I do is I cover this with whatever paper that you're going to use, and on the back I put a cardstock on here. I cover it with cardstock, but I take a 1/2 inch overhang on the cardstock. I create a 1/2 inch overhang, because then that will be my hinge that opens and shuts. And what I do is I glue it down, and that'll be my hinge. That's my hinge that opens and shuts the corset panels. Okay, so if you'd like to see me cover this whole thing, go ahead and comment down below, and I will go ahead and take the time to do that. But I think all of you know this is it. Everything's built up. You have everything you need to start covering and playing with your A-frame. Okay, everything is finished, except that, remember, with these I cover with the designated pattern paper that I want, and then in the back I take, for mine it was a black cardstock, and then glued it down. But because this hinge, this is a 1/2 inch. If you see the hinge, if you make a hinge longer than a 1/2 inch mark, an overhang, then when you open and shut, you're going to see that. So as you open it and shut it, then your hinge is right here, and it's not going to be exposed. And then once I had, and I'll show you the interior, what I've done. Okay, so I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to show you what I have done with the journal. Okay, let me just quickly clear this away, because I'm already at 1 hour and 14 minutes. I didn't think it was going to take that long, but I guess it did. Oh my goodness. So we got that going, and I hope you guys enjoyed that. Now here it is. Here's my 1.5 inch ring binding. I'm going to change that over to like I said, 2 inches. Okay, so here's the reveal. Everyone wanted to see. I told you I would reveal the interior, even though it's not completely finished. There's going to be lots of surprises that I won't share, you know, because that's my personal touch, but I'll give you, you know, some ideas on what you guys can do. Okay, So here's my structure. Here's my flap. Okay. Here is the stopper. Right here. Here's the stopper. Let me see if you could see that. Like that. Here's the stopper. And I haven't distressed this yet, but I think I'm going to do it in black soot, so this cardboard won't be exposed. So there's your hinge stopper, or your stopper right there, so that your A-frame won't slip off the bottom panel and want to just slide off completely. So it stays just like that. Here's your stopper that we glued on. And then here's the look of the A-frame. I've got 3 signatures inside. So as you see that there's space in between there, that's space for expansion. So you can, you know, you won't have to worry about your signatures doing an alligator mouth, because it will have enough room for it to become an alligator mouth. So, and remember, this is not completely done. This is just the beginning works. There's so much to this that I'm going to add. This is going to be totally tricked out. Oh my goodness. So anyway, here's this beautiful chain closure. Okay. And I'm going to have some charms hanging off of here. But what I did was I added a lobster claw here for just an indicator to show you where and how I would rechain this. It's simple, very simple. So here, these are those doorpost, I think that's what they call them, doorpost knobs. I ordered off Amazon. As you can see, there's they're raised, and then you screw it into you screw it in. Okay, so I'm going to remove it. This is how you open up your closure, the chain right here. And to close it, this, when you close back, you just put your chain right here. Here's your lobster claw. And even if you go off wonky, I mean, it, you know, because the chains just slides, you just, what you do, just crisscross applesauce. Crisscross your chain. Like so. Oop. It's a lot easier. My hands are just super dry, and the chain's just slipping right out. And then plus, like I shared earlier, my thumbs, they don't work very well. I'm feeling and there you go. There's the chain. You can flip this over, shake it all you want, shake up and down, all around, and the chain stays on. It doesn't come off. Okay, because of that doorknob hinge. It's just not going to fall right through. Okay, so I'll go ahead and reopen this, and I'll do a really quick flip through of this. Okay, so here we go. We're going to stand this up. Okay, and this is how this is, and then you just open it up just like this. Isn't that gorgeous? And your hinge keeps it from shutting. Okay, so you can display it just like this, left open, you know, if you want to. And now let me show you the interior by laying it down. So I have Andrea Allen's Digi paper in here, and here you can see this is the black cardstock that I used right here. Okay, a 1/2 inch wide only, the same width as this right here, 1/2 inch. And that way, when you open and close it, you're not going to see that hinge. But this hinge, while it's black, it's not going to stay that way. I'm going to be decorating that hinge inside. So, and I will be putting some really cool elements in here that I will share when this is finished. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and tell you. I'm going to place an element here, which will probably be, you know, I'm going to probably put another hole in here, 2 small holes, and decorate this up so where you can't see this will be raised with different type of structure, so it's going to have raised elements out here in the front. So I'm going to put 2 holes in here side by side, and I'm going to put a pen or pencil holder in here, and then I might make 2 of them, I'm not sure, but I might just keep a single beautiful pen here in its room. It's not going to get damage the interior, because the way this hinge, if you see, when it's all chained up, there's room in here. It's not going to damage your journal at all. It's not going to damage the interior of this. So I'll have a pen here, and on the other side I'll let you know I'm going to have probably about an inch strip from probably here to about here, and I'm going to wrap around it different types of washi tape, so that the owner of this journal will have the pen or pencil, or if I put 2 side by side, it'll be one for a pencil and one for a pen. And then on here is going to have the detachable, which I'll add the velcros onto, for washi tape for them to use, so they can remove it and use washi tape throughout their journal. And this lady, this beautiful lady, is from Andrea Allen's Steampunk kit. All this, what you see, is her steampunk. The striped paper is from another kit of Andrea's. It's the vintage background papers. And so I've got her connected. Here's got a little eyelet that I've set inside, and it's has a not a bulldog clip, garment pin, and it's chained up. So I have another doorknob here, and I put 2 jump rings so that when you want to remove this, you remove it, open up the claw, and then let me hold this up like this, and then you open her up, and inside of her, let's see if I can get this into frame, there's a pocket, a deep pocket, so you can put a lot of extra things, like, you know, I don't know, more pens or pencils. So I made it deep enough for for that person to put whatever they want in there. So I am going to close this pocket. Okay, let me go ahead and lay her back down. So that's a pocket. I'm going to go ahead and put her jewelry back on. Oh, my thumbs. My thumbs, ah! I can do this. It's fairly easy. There's no strain in the chain at all. It's just opening it up with my chubby little fingers. And so now, this is a pocket, and I shared what I'm going to do with this element. It could change, but I think I'm going to stick to it. And then you flip her open, okay, and it reveals her heart. Oh, I'm going to watch My Fair Lady again. I don't know why her name escapes me, but here she is, and with Mr. Higgins, okay, because you know at the end of the movie she falls in love with him, okay, and I have used part of Andrea's kit, her little screwdriver thing, and just kind of did a collage, and I have used the Tim Holtz frame, 3D frame, and I used glossy accents to place on top to make it look like it was a glass over the inside the frame. Okay, so there's that, guys, and this is her beautiful bodice, I guess, with her little cameo that closes up just like that. Okay, and then I haven't had my pages decorated yet, but I will go ahead and flip her over, showing you. Okay, this is the Harlequin paper of Andrea's and her vintage kit that I used, and I will have elements here, pockets and things like that. So I'm going to flip her over, and this is 3 signatures that I have, And I've got in each, so far I haven't put all my papers that I wanted in here. In each of these I already have, what did I count? 20 sheets? No. 5, 10, 12 pieces of paper in here that I've already put in, because those are the lined tea stain paper that I have. And so you just flip it over. Isn't this beautiful paper? This is a paper pad. Can I reach for it? Yep. Man, this video is long. Okay, this is that paper pad. And I bought this at Hobby Lobby. It's $21.99, but when I got it on sale half off, it was about $11. And it's a haberdashery. It's got 20 designs and 3 of each design. So you have 60 sheets. And I've used quite a bit of it. There's a lot I've used out of this pad. If you can see how thick that is. Paper Studio. It's the Glitter Craft Glossy Foil. That's what it says. Glitter Craft Glossy Foil. And here's the item number. I think this is the item number, guys. Let's see if you can see this. It'll zoom in. Nope, it's not working. My autofocus, I guess I didn't turn it on. But the numbers are 651976. 651976. And it's the Paper Studio haberdashery. And it's got 60 sheets total. And this is what I use. So I use 3 of those. Okay, so then I'll just flip through that, and I'm going to be building all of this up. And then there's the back of this, which will have a pocket and some other things in here. I haven't quite determined that yet, so you will come along with my process in creating my journal, and maybe hopefully you will gain some inspiration in building your journal. So that's what this looks like. Okay, and here's the back of the journal, which is the front cover. And I wanted to, because it's a corset, so you know the 360 view of a corset is the, you know, is the flowers, the flower print right here. Pretty cool, right? And then so I just want to thank you guys for being patient with me, and hang on a second. I'm going to stand her up and put her chastity belt back on, because she, for me, in my eyes, she's not married yet. I just think that after Mr. Higgins has filled her up with tons of knowledge, you know, she was inspired to become a industrious woman, an ingenious woman. I'm hoping that she lived a bit with her gained and newfound knowledge and speech. See, that was so easy to put together, right? So I hope that you have liked this process, and give me a thumbs up and a like and subscribe, because I'll be doing some more process videos and craft along with me, showing you how I put all the elements that I'm going to do. Like Shabby Dabby Doodah says, she mass makes. I'm going to be mass making a bunch of things that I think that what's in my head wants to put in this, and whatever I don't use is left over for another steampunk project. So I will sign off now and say thank you. It is 1 hour and 30 minutes. Thank you for staying this long with me, and I hope you'll be back. Please like and subscribe and comment. Please give me comments and let me know what you think, and share this video if you think it's worth sharing. Okay, I will talk to you later, and it'll be getting to know me more in my next episodes. Okay, signing off. Peace be with you, and happy crapping. Happy. I just said happy crapping? Oh my gosh. Okay. Peace out and happy crafting.